beautiful people. As always, I have a special guest for you. You know, when I sit down, I've got something cooking, I've got someone special sitting next to me. This time is no exception. I've got the talented superstar all the way from South Africa. It is rapper, record label owner, hitmaker, KO, also known as MrCashTime. Hello.
What's up, Queen? Thank you for having me on the platform. London town, let's get it.
How are you doing? How are you feeling? You've been on a UK tour a little bit. You've been up and down in these UK streets.
I feel like a new artist, like all over, encountering new people and creating new fans, and just introducing myself, to a whole new audience. So yeah, it's quite exciting. It just rejuvenates me in so many ways.
I mean, I feel like this is almost like you said, a new beginning, even though you've been doing this. You recently, or last year, you released Sete, and then now you have the remix featuring Diamond Platnumz Oxlade, which is introducing you to a whole new fan base, a whole new platform of people that may have never heard of you, even though you've been in this for a decade.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
The main thing about it for me, even just getting to the point where like now I'm consciously and intentionally putting myself, next to African giants, because I've always regarded myself as an African giant, but I just never walked the talk. So now this is the moment for me to put my money where my mouth is and start running, with the big dogs. So it starts off obviously with this remix situation,
Tell me about how the collaboration came about with Oxlade and Diamond.
Probably just the most authentic and organic connection amongst the guys and myself. So the record, like last year, towards the end of the year, was the biggest thing in Southern Africa, right? So they just happened to be in the country, for different reasons. I think the first one that touched down was Diamond. There was a conversation already that because of the success of the record, we need to look into also maybe just diversifying the reach and maybe like look into a remix of some sort. And Diamond was one of the people that was, part of the short list, because how we were planning to do the remix situation was we wanted to combine both East and West Africa on the record, of course, and with me and Young Stunner coming from the southern region. And then 2 months later, Oxlade touched down as well. He was there for shows. I think this was like New Year's Eve. Same thing happened, bro. Like he heard it everywhere. And the next thing I saw, he tagged me on the socials, and then we just started, conversing from there. Before I knew it, there was a verse. And before he left, we shot parts of the video. So that's also in the making. Yeah, that's just basically how the whole exercise came together.
Throughout your career, you've not been doing the Afrobeats or the Amapiano stuff as other people have, or maybe other rappers have dabbled into. Was this an intentional move to decide, you know what, we're going to try the Afrobeats a little bit and see where it takes us?
I've always been someone who's very eclectic in my sound and stuff, and who's hip, to what's going on, whether like in the local market back home or like just universally. I've done Afrobeats before, and I did a collab in 2017, I think it was. I did a record with Runtown. I'm sure some people know him.
Yeah.
It was a great start. I thought it was gonna be what Sete did, but I guess, there's God has his own timing.
Absolutely.
So had to respect that. As far as Amapiano is concerned, I also just appreciate and love the energy that came with that entire movement, and it ushered in so many superstars. And a lot of people felt like they needed to jump on that wave ASAP because that was the only thing that was happening at the time. All the other genres started taking, the back seat, especially back home, including hip hop.
Yeah, they have.
So I think maybe just like the self-belief just told me, hey man, just keep at it, keep doing your thing, stick to your guns, and also think outside the box. Just because there's this going on, it doesn't mean now that you fully need to immerse yourself in there. You can borrow elements from it and work with people from that space, but you can still, you know, come up with something of your own. And Afrobeats back home is not really something that we've explored as artists. Because
do you feel like you're missing out by not exploring it to its full extent?
You're missing out on anything. I'm probably missing out on not exploring Amapiano myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when we landed ourselves on this beautiful jam, Sete, and it came out the way that it did, and it went out to actually cut through nicely and land nicely on some of the Afrobeats playlists, I think it was a win-win for all of us and everyone who was part of that entire thing.
Now, you've set the standard and the bar very high. You've broken records with Sete. You were #1 on the SA charts and around the world. 81 million streams. Longest running #1 single on South African radio stations. Now, the bar is here. How do we exceed that?
The next step for me, it starts with me being here, first of all. You know, spreading my wings and taking the gift that I believe I possess in my heart and sharing it with the world as well. Who knows? The bar now says I need to have a #1 song in the UK. I need to have a song on the Billboard charts. I need to win a Grammy. I need a platinum album, you know, worldwide type of thing, you know. So I can only springboard from what I've just created
from
with
where
Sete.
you are.
Yeah.
Let's discuss the Metro FM Awards. You were nominated for 7 awards, including Single of the Year.
Yeah.
Which you didn't receive despite you breaking records, as we said, despite the song being international.
Yeah.
How do you feel about not receiving those awards? And do you feel like you were snubbed a little bit?
Not even. Like, my heart was not that into it on that level, which is why, you know, the weekend of the Metros coincided with me being here, you know, because it's a hill that I have conquered. Not that I'm not grateful or don't recognize that platform. I truly do. And being the most nominated this year also speaks to just the impact of the song. The fact that I didn't win anything, to me, it's a bittersweet moment, but I'm leaning more towards the sweet side because they got to celebrate my brother and a friend of mine, AKA, on the night by showering him with those trophies and stuff like that. Because, I mean, think about it this way. If we're speaking musically and just the unfortunate circumstances, his unfortunate passing this year robbed us and him of another opportunity to continue putting out the great music that is offered to us. Speaking from a place of privilege, bro, like, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I can still make another record. I can still, you know, be eligible for another award down the line, you know, Lord willing. So I can't feel any way or, like, you know, be negative towards his beautiful send-off on that night, you know, with all those trophies. So yeah, man, shout outs to the homie, and of course his fans, you know, held him down. He was someone who was always trying to raise the bar, always trying to level up, looking at the landscape and saying, and then looking at his competitors and saying, oh, so that person did that. And I mean, I was one of his competitors as well. As much as we were friends and everything, I mean, he was my competitor too, because we fed so much off each other. When I was going through a great moment, he would actually use that as a battery on his back, and vice versa. Even when I was not going through a great moment, he would be the one to say, hey, bro, you can do better.
And lift you up.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, at times he would give me, like, features when he didn't have to, because like, you know, the game is so fickle and people are not as solid as one might think. That gentleman, regardless of like whether I had a high tide or not, he held me down, and I appreciate that, you know, for as long as I live.
Let's take it back to your Teargas days. You started off in a rap group. Fast forward, that led you to being an artist individually. But at some point, you were the manager for the group. Tell me how that happened.
We had a fallout with the manager, you know, that was handling our business. Second year into it, we had to figure out, you know, our way forward because our career was in our own hands. We messed around and tried to do business with this manager and that manager, and it all just didn't work out. And then eventually, while we're doing all of that, you know, it was pointing only in one direction, that we needed to take matters in our own hands. And I probably was more motivated to play that role, and, you know, just building a network from scratch with different promoters and media and brands and all those kind of things. And eventually we found our groove. And then the album that came out after that, you know, was a slow start, but eventually, you know, we found our feet and things like that. And then later on, that entire exercise equipped me with enough knowledge for me to even look at creating my own record company, you know, where I'd have my own artists, and, you know, so all that that intel from handling the business for the group, when it got to a point where now I had to, you know, impart the same skill set onto the artists that I had on the roster, you know, it made it a worthy enough exercise. And obviously also knowing that you can't be I'm not a jack of all trades. You know, there were things that I needed to compartmentalize and say, okay, cool, I can only do so much.
Yeah.
But you also need to have the foresight to bring on board the people who will actually help pick up from where you leave as far as your capacity is concerned.
Absolutely.
And then that's why I linked up, you know, with my business partner Tabiso, and, you know, the Tulus of this world, who you know, was the guy that was running, you know, the booking side of things. And yeah, we just built from there, man.
Are we ever going to see Teargas maybe give us a reunion tour, or maybe just one last single?
We are so far apart, like mentally, and I think probably also just like energy-wise, we are not on the same wavelength. I unfortunately don't see a reunion happening, as, you know, as where things stand right now. I mean, it's been almost 10 years since, you know, we last did things together. I still am very close with, you know, one of the members, my E, but unfortunately I can't say the same with, you know, the other homie. So yeah, just based on that, unfortunately it is what it is. It's life.
Let me just leave it there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've received your flowers and your accolades properly for the work that you've done within the last decade plus and what you've contributed to hip hop in South Africa?
It's subjective to me, you know. People chase vanity points. Yeah, so we're gonna put this man on the pedestal and stroke his ego, you know, for the rest of his life, for whatever that he might have contributed to the culture. And then some people who might have done the same, if they don't get it, it doesn't mean that you need to be discouraged. I'm that person. You know, I feel like, but whether I get the recognition or the praise or anything of that nature, it doesn't change who I am. Like, I come from a small town in South Africa, and my pipe dream was to become one of the best hip hop artists to come out of South Africa. And guess what? Like, God made that come to fruition. I had nothing in my pocket. I couldn't do much. And the very pipe dream that I had in my small little bedroom back home in the small town, I'm sitting here in London, and some people know my music in this region, The gratification that I draw from things like that supersedes a trophy, supersedes someone sitting all day and singing my praises on the socials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm able to feed my family, I have a livelihood, and I'm aging like fine wine in the music space. I'm setting a whole new tone. Come on now, like I think I'm really living the life of a lot of hip hop artists. How they would like to see themselves, like the longevity that I'm showcasing right now.
Yeah.
I'm probably the first one in SA, to be at it for this long and be this great for this long. So those blessings to me are far more fond than the vanity points. Look, I've never done just a KO concert back home, like where it's like, okay, this is specifically, if you walk through those doors, you are solely going in there to see this man.
KO's World.
Right? Yeah. My peers have done that, if you're talking about Casper and Invest, even AKA and all those kind of people, I've never done that. As much as, yes, people might say, I don't get enough flowers, to a certain degree, I'm the very reason why I don't get some of those flowers. Because I don't give them the reason to put me on that pedestal sometimes.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Because I think because as a rapper, the world looks at you as, and intrinsically part of the rapper lifestyle or the rapper image is talking your ish and, having a big ego and saying, blowing your own trumpet essentially.
Yeah.
But I have a question, which is a little bit tricky to ask, but is that potentially almost coming against your own potential success and the levels you could reach if you were energy of I am KO, I can do XYZ, or I have done XYZ?
Absolutely. There are things that are probably that I am I'm putting a ceiling over.
Yeah, a
right?
glass ceiling almost.
Which might be, a self-inflicted handicap. But also at the same time, right, I get to sleep better at night. Because, like, first of all, like, I'm a very introverted person and I'm very private. There are things that I've seen my peers do for the sake of magnifying their lives, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's by them monetizing their families, monetizing their kids, monetizing their relationships.
Yeah.
There are things that are precious to me that I don't feel the world needs to know. And when people cannot see beyond just your music, sometimes they get to feel like, okay, cool, I just know the artist. I don't know anything beyond the curtain. And I'm happy with that curtain.
That there's a curtain.
Yeah, I'm happy with that curtain because, like I was saying to you, I still get to wake up not thinking that I am this person, right? And I get to still live my life, go to the shopping mall all by myself without having...
You do that?
Yeah.
And you don't get, the bombarded, or you just, put your glasses on, put a hat on.
I don't even have to do all of that stuff. Because when people see me, a lot of them step up to me respectfully, right? When I know that, okay, cool, on this particular day, I can't go out there like that. I need my team with me, or I need security. Obviously, I'll make that move. But a lot of the times, I still get to just be me, unapologetically, go to the barber without taking. Sorry, if I don't come across as hygienic enough, but go to the barber without taking a shower, right? In my shorts.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
you don't have to have,
bro, like I don't have to be swagged up and, you know, for all kinds of, no, like I still appreciate that side of me, you know. But to the next guy who wants what I have and they think they can turn this into something bigger than what I've turned it into, they might somewhere down the line criticize my model. But my model is enough for me and my sanity and my, you know, mental health and all those kind of things, because I'm not a slave to my work. I just happen to be a popular face because of my talent. That's how I look at life.
Before I let you go, I have to ask. It's a tricky question. It might get you in trouble, but we'll see. Who are your top favorite rappers? And in your opinion, top 5 best rappers in the world?
I'll throw Tupac in there.
Tupac?
I'm not talking about the best rapper or like best lyricist, and no, I'm just talking about great rapper.
Yeah.
Right? I'll throw Tupac, I'll throw Jay-Z in there, I'll throw Wayne, shaped me a lot. I'll throw Eminem in there.
Eminem?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I'm just basing it on people who allowed me to shape my skill set,
right,
and who are able to bring out the conscious side of me, the flamboyant side of me, and the quirky and ignorant side of me, you know. So I think that's a good mashup right there.
Lovely. Yeah. Okay. The last album was SR3.
Yeah.
In 2022. What is next for KO? Where are we going to see you next? I mean, you've got this monster here, which is about to go even crazier because now you've got the remix. What's happening?
New music later on this year. I've got some dope collaborations with some great, you know, African brothers.
Yeah.
Hoping to get some big sisters as well, like, you know, at the table as I'm building this journey. I'd love to make something with, for instance, like Iris Star this year, but I've already got like 2 big ones, you know, that I know are gonna shake the space.
Can we get a hint? Just a little bit. Are they West Africa?
Yeah. That's all you get. That's all you get.
Wow, I tried.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna continue building. I'm also like super open to collaborating with, you know, for like folks from out here in the UK and worldwide. Yeah, I'm gonna continue building, but yeah, definitely over the next couple of months, expect some shape-shifting, you know, records, you know, to come out.
We look forward to it.
Yes,
we look forward to it. I mean, we're inspired by you. We are proud of you. We are happy for you and all that is happening for you. And I'm sure there's more to come, more hits. Like you said, the Grammys are coming, the #1 albums are coming all around the world, the MTV Awards and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining me to have drinks with me. And I feel like we should do this again because I feel like this is about getting into it.
Of course.
We have to go.
Yes,
but yeah, that is it for this episode of Drinks with Noms featuring the superstar KO, MrCashTime. Where can they find you? Where can we follow you?
Very simple on all the platforms, social media. The name is MrCashTime, MrCashTime. My name is KO.